Hello, hello, hello. It is a couple seconds after 8 o'clock in the evening on day 2 of our workshop. I'm trying to put this earring in. I don't know if it's going to work because I can't see him here. I might be one earring Sally today. Oh, there we go. Got it in. Oh, man. All right. So if you're newer to this space, first of all, welcome to the XMH Empire. I'm your host, Xtina Harmsworth, and what you're going to find in this space, if you're newish, is that we have been stacking masterclass and workshop content in here for 2 years now. Inside the guide section at the top of the group, you're going to find masterclasses dedicated to entrepreneurs and people who are here for expansion, business expansion, self-development, mindset work, etc. And these masterclasses go back 2 years plus. So if you're new to the space, welcome. We invite you to binge the content, get to know us, and just have a ball with all the free assets that we've created for people over the years. And nearly every month we add to the vault. So you are in our free content vault right now. And this month we are doing a very different topic. It felt close to my heart and super duper relevant. It took balls to put it out there because money can be a trigger for people, and not everyone can even access the side of them that can admit that they want to be a first generation millionaire. But if you're here, that means you had the bravery to raise your hand and say that it's you. So we are in night number 2. If you didn't catch night 1, you can still be here for night number 2 and just drop in and do the whole thing with us. I will say though, you missed some good stuff on day 1, so go back. The cool thing about right now in the Facebook landscape is that you can click the settings button as you're watching the replay of these videos, and you can actually watch them in 2x speed, which is wonderful because sometimes I talk really slow. So you can cut the time in half. What I will warn you about though, what to expect with me, is that I am not short-winded. My master classes and workshops are usually 60 to 90 minutes. Don't think that I'm going to give you a 20-minute thing, because we just don't roll like that. I want you to have a whole experience with me tonight. And that being said, I have some stuff up my sleeve for you. If you liked day 1, I think you're going to love day 2, because day 1 is just the icebreaker. We had to set the stage. We had to set the expectations, set the mindset work, get you guys thinking a little bit differently on day 1. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. So we're doing workshop style these 3 days. And so what I'll ask you to do, if you're live, is go ahead and get yourself a pad of paper and something to write, because I have an activation for you today. We're going to build on what we did yesterday. It's okay if you missed yesterday. You can still hang with us. You'll still be able to participate. But get yourself a writing utensil and some paper for me, if you will. And once you've got it, right, got it. So I'll give you a second to do that. I'm going to grab my little notes here. Make sure I don't forget anything. I'm going to kind of tell you what to expect tonight in the show flow of what we're going to do. We're going to have a mantra, a journal prompt, a guided visualization, because we need that in our lives. If any of you guys liked the guided meditation from yesterday, can you just hashtag the words guided meditation, because I'm becoming famous for these. People have been telling me that we need a whole product suite of these, and I'm not mad at it. If you liked yesterday's, write the word guided meditation for me. Just give me a little bit of feedback. Once we do that, we're going to go into story time and a little bit of mindset work. And I'm going to be dropping an offer tonight that I am like, it's the best freaking offer. I am freaking pumped to tell you about offer number 2, and we're going to save it till the end. So if you know already, like, you want to do something with me at some point this year, stay tuned to the end, and I'm going to give you offer number 2. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. Okay, so actually, I want to be able to see your comments because I can't see them right now. Feel free to blow the comment section up for me because I can't see them yet on this phone, but I can see them on this phone. Perfect. Okay, welcome. I can see you guys. I see Pam. I see Suzanne Hanley, Carrie McDaniel, Jennifer Wilburn. What's up, babe? My mom, Casey Ora. I see Tanya, Karen Fegan, BC McGregor. What's up? Myra Isaac. Perfect. Okay. All right, so let's drop straight into the mantra. We're going to bring it in hot from yesterday. Whatever your mantra was that you set yesterday, or if you're new, I'll give it to you right now. If you're here in this particular workshop, it means that you are brave enough to claim your stake as a first-generation millionaire, a cash millionaire, a cash multi-millionaire. You got to pick a phrase yesterday, a mantra. And beliefs are just things that you think and say over and over and over again, and I'm here to shift some people's beliefs. So we're going to go back in with this mantra today. And at the top of your page, I want you to write down your mantra. I love saying, I am a first-generation millionaire. I made that true for me. So whatever you want to be true for you, perhaps you're not the first millionaire in your family, so perhaps yours is, I'm a cash millionaire in the making. Maybe you're already a millionaire. I got lots of friends in here who are millionaires. And so for you, maybe yours is, I'm a cash multi-millionaire in the making. I saw some bold claims yesterday where people said, I am a cash billionaire. And I say, yes, 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 yes. So go ahead and write your mantra to anchor it in at the top of this class, at the top of your paper. And once you've written your mantra down, put your hand on your heart and say it out loud. Send the vibration through your vocal cords, through your chest, through your lips, your tongue, your throat. Let the vibration of what you're saying come through your hand and feel yourself say the words. I am a cash multimillionaire in the making. Or whatever your mantra is. So write it down first, then hand on heart, say it out loud. Feel the words through your hand. Feel the words come out of your mouth on behalf of yourself, your lineage, your ancestors, everyone who came before you and gave you this opportunity to have this life and do this thing. Say it on their behalf. For any future lineage that you may touch, whether they come out of your body or they just surround your life. Say it on behalf of you, everyone before you, and everyone who comes after you. Say it proud, make it loud, feel it through your hand. It's anchored in. Once you've done it, hashtag done. I'll give you a second to do it. So beautiful. Okay, I see the dones. I see the hashtag dones out here. All right, now on your paper, I want you to make space for 10 squares. So however you want to divvy up your paper, however it works for you, I want you to make space for 10 squares. It could be drawing a line down the center and a couple across, but I want you to make space for 10 squares. And in each of these sections of your paper, you're going to write your mantra again. In each of these sections of your paper, if you are a cash millionaire in the making, or if you are a first-generation millionaire in the making, I want you to write it in every section of the paper. And by the end of this, you should have 10 squares on your paper that have your mantra written inside. I'm having you do this for so many reasons, but one of them is that, once again, your beliefs, some of them are imparted to you through the way that you're raised, the tradition of faith, the way your parents were, your money lineage, who you've been around the last 5 years of your life, socioeconomic things, the news, whatever. Our beliefs come from a lot of places, but a belief is just a thought that you have rehearsed. A belief is just a thought that you've said to yourself over and over and over again, and the repetition has caused it to be ingrained. So some of you walked in here with some shaky feelings about money. And in order to correct that path, we have to insert new beliefs. And so I'm asking you to write this money mantra 10 times as a journaling activation for you, just getting it through, in and through the body, in your head, in your mind, in your heart, and out through your hands as a channel of energy. Letting that belief come all the way through your body and out your hand. And then we're going to do something with this paper. I love this part. I love this part. This is some Millionaire's Desk stuff out here, which is a series that I did for an entire year, helping people with their money beliefs. Some of my mastermind clients say that it was some of the most powerful work that they've ever done, so I'm going to bring it into here for you. So once we're done tonight, you're going to have an activation with this piece of paper. And your activation leading out from this workshop tonight is that you're going to divide this paper, so cut it into like the 10 different squares. And you're going to take this mantra into your actual life. If a belief is just something that you think over and over and over again, you rehearse again and again, you see it, you're reminded over and over and over again, it's just programming, then we've got to actually program this belief into you a lot until it's second nature and you actually believe it inside. It's not just something that you rehearse, it's something that's grounded into your everyday ritual. So, leaving out from here, you're going to take these 10 mantras that you've just written down, and you're going to place these papers around your home. I'm going to give you 10 different places to put it. So team, if you're live, or if someone is live and wants to write these in like numbers as I say them, amazing. Place number 1 that you're going to take your mantra into your life is, number 1, you're going to put one in your wallet. Listen, I know we have Apple Pay and we have all these different things, but your girl still carries a wallet around. I still have a purse. I still have a debit card. I think we all have one too. So the first place you're going to put this is in your wallet. Because every time that you reach in to do a transaction, we want to actually insert faith and intentionality. Remember that word from yesterday. So your first place is you're going to put this in your wallet. To take this feeling and this knowing of who you're becoming into the rest of your life. Yes! Oh my God, I can see comments on this one. Praise God. Hey, Mom. My mom is the first commenter. Hey, Queen Mom. My mom said my wallet was my first thought. I love it. Perfect. So place number 1 is the wallet. Place number 2 is on your dresser. If you don't have a dresser, put it in your closet. Put it someplace that you have to be eye level and look at every day. So if you go to your closet every day, you're going to tape it eye level or sticky note it eye level on your closet. If you have to go to your dresser to open a dresser drawer every day, you're going to just insert it right eye level, like where you look down to get your panties or your boxers out of the drawer, because I know we have kings and queens up in here, so I can't just say panties. Wherever you have to go to pull your socks and undergarments out of a drawer, you're going to be looking towards that drawer. You're going to see it right there. Your mantra. I'm a first-generation millionaire in the making. This is going to become part of your nervous system because you're going to see it in everyday life. As you get dressed in the morning, as you do transactions, and when you're in a calm state, when you're pulling your drawers out of the drawer, okay. You're going to see it when you're in a calm state, not some crazy, hyped up, sympathetic state, but just a chill state, and you're just going to be like, yeah, I'm reminded, okay? So place number 2 is your dresser or your closet. Place number 3 is at the kitchen sink. If you have a little mantle, if you've got a little windowsill, if you've got a little backsplash, you could tape it there. Like, get the packing tape, the clear packing tape. Get you some Scotch tape. Tape that mofo, so if any water splashes up on it, it's good for the next few months. Just tape that thing up there. You've got to go to the sink in the kitchen during the day at some point. Even if you don't cook, you've got to wash your hands at some point. You're going to get a glass of water, something. Got to take your dishes to the kitchen. So put one at the kitchen sink. If you're live, right kitchen sink. Yes, it's the Choni mantra. I love this for us. Place number 4 is the bathroom vanity or the bathroom mirror. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys a story today about a section of my life where I really started making drastic financial changes. Drastic ones. And in that season, I wrote my affirmations on my bathroom mirror. Because why? I have to pee every day. Multiple times. I had to look myself in the mirror. I had to wash my hands. I had to brush my teeth. I saw that mirror so many times a day as part of my everyday nervous system rituals. My everyday hygiene. And as I was brushing my teeth, I was thinking about this stuff. As I was washing my hands, I was thinking about this stuff. In my very landed nervous system moments, I was thinking about this stuff. As I got in the shower, I was thinking about it. So, place number 4 is your bathroom vanity. If you're live, write 4, bathroom vanity or bathroom mirror. Place number 5, you're going to attach one to your laptop or your computer. I like to use sticky notes for stuff like this. You can put it on the outside, you can put it on the cover, but a place that you have to see it daily. You can put it next to your mouse pad. If you got the iPad that's a little touch. Put it someplace on the computer. If you do business transactions and you have to look at a computer at any time of the day, you're going to put one on your computer. Place number 6 is the dashboard of your vehicle. Oh, you have to check the speedometer, don't you? You have to see how much gas is in that car. You got to check your fuel, baby. Every time you're in that vehicle, you're going to be reminded that you are a cash millionaire in the making. Perhaps yours is, I'm a first-generation millionaire in the making. If you drive, put it there. Carrie said, what if I don't use a laptop or a computer? I have an 11th one for you. I really do. I put 11 just in case someone said, I don't do that. I have a backup plan. All right, so we've got number 6 is the dashboard of your car. Number 7 is your refrigerator door. Oh, yes. We have to eat. Even if you don't cook, I'm sure you get something out of the refrigerator. So we're going to have you put it at eye level at the refrigerator. So that every day, as much as you walk to the refrigerator, you will be reminded of your identity, your mantra, your commitment, your energy, your belief, your faith, who you're becoming. Eye level at the refrigerator. Place number 8. This is a fun one. This one, you can take packing tape and you can tape it in. Or potentially, if you're like me, I did it in dry erase markers, but I wrote this stuff in the shower. I've had shower affirmations. I had them for 18 months. I finally washed them off because I was like, I think mine actually elevated, and I haven't written new ones up yet, but in the shower. Oh yes. So take your mantra, put some packing tape, the clear stuff, the real sturdy tape one in the shower. So when you're standing in the shower, daydreaming, and you're in the water element, which is the best for manifestation, for connecting with God, for getting into a different zone, for washing the old energy off and really tapping into a new place. Yeah. Take it in the shower. Yes. Place number 9. So that was number 8, was tape in the shower. Place number 9. You want one next to your bed. You can go full-blown, Jack Canfield style. He talked about this. Jack Canfield talked about this when he was on his way to selling his first $1 million in books, right? He had this goal, this vision to sell $1 million in books. And so he wrote himself, I believe, $1 million check, or he wrote the thing that he was after. And he taped it to the ceiling above him when he would fall asleep, so that every night, falling asleep, that would be the last thing that he saw before he fell asleep. So maybe you don't want to tape it to your ceiling, but someplace that's right next to your bed, so it's the last thing that you see before you fall asleep. A reminder of who you're stepping into and what you laid claim to inside of this workshop. I pray that there's a before this workshop, and I pray that there's an after this workshop. I pray that something breaks off of you in this workshop. I pray that something awakens inside of you. I pray that a new identity is something that you step into in this workshop. I pray that you come to a choice point in this workshop. And I pray that you're never the same. So put this thing next to your bed and allow it to change you. Place number 10 is at your front door. Like a blessing. The way that Jewish families put a reminder of their identity by their front door, you're going to do that at your house. Put your mantra next to your front door. You can say, I am. You can say, my family is. You can say, we are. However it feels good to you. But put it at the front door. And the bonus one, number 11, in case you're like, I can't do one of those. Number 11 is going to be your workstation. So if you're like my friend Carrie and you're a stylist, you're going to put it maybe in the top drawer of your workstation so that every time that you open that drawer to pull out your work supplies, or if you're someone who works construction, you put it in your toolbox. Wherever you are that you do your work, put a reminder so that you can't not see this thing. I love Jessie Ferguson. Jessie from Team XMH. She's got all the locations written for you along with the bonus. Also, we're celebrating Jessie. Today is her 5th year anniversary working with our company. She got unicorn flowers from our team today, and we're celebrating Jessie today. 5 years with the XMH Empire. We love you, Jessie. Thank you. And if you guys also know, love, and trust Jessie, throw her some love in the comments. It's her special day, 5-year anniversary today with our brand. Woo! Okay. I'm so grateful for you. I love you. All right. Let's drop into a little bit more of the journal prompts because I want to drive you deeper. I just gave you a whole bunch of places and spaces to put this mantra, but let's drive this mantra deeper. I want you to take a second in your journal and tap into the what is it for. You're going to claim this stake and you're going to claim this identity that you're stepping into. If you're going to have a before this workshop and an after this workshop where you're never quite the same, I want you to take about just a minute in your journal and write the words, this is what it's for. And just tap in for a second to the version of you where it's done. The version of you from yesterday's meditation, which if you missed it, go back to the first 20 minutes of yesterday. It was so perfect. Tap into the version of you that has millions in the bank already. You're doing another $1 million deal right now. What's it for? Give yourself 60 seconds and write it down. What is yours for? Why do you want this? Go. Give me at least 3 reasons why you want this. The millions in the bank. Okay, yay, we're back. Reducing background noise, enhancing voice. and we'll give everybody a couple seconds to jump back on. We're doing a part 2 just because a couple people said that the sound was not loud enough and it was a little bit hazy and fuzzy in the background. So we're just going to give it 4 seconds for people to rejoin the live, and we're going to continue with our journal prompt, which was such a vibe. So if you're back live, give me a little bit of feedback in the chat. Let me know if the sound is better on this particular video. Let me know how the vibe is. Let me know. Sound check. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. BC says, yes, much better. Perfect. Love that for us. Perfect. Thank you so much for whoever first said that and just drew my attention to it, because otherwise I wouldn't have known. So God bless you for giving us the chance to come back and have the best sound in the world. Okay, so let's go drop further into this workshop, because we have some more journal prompt to do and the little guided visualization. If you guys are down for some guided visualization, give me the lightning bolt in the chat, because it's my favorite emoji. You know what I'm saying? Drop me the lightning bolts. If you're ready for the next move. On your, inside your journal, whatever you're writing on, I want you to create like a T on the paper. So it's kind of like, it's like the shape of a cross, but give yourself more space on the bottom of the page. Does that make sense? So kind of T-bone your paper. T-bone your paper. All right. How are you guys enjoying this? I hope you're loving it. Okay, so yesterday in our guided visualization, we took you into the place of meeting like this next level version of you, like a version of you that has already done the thing and has it all. And at the very, very tippy end of that visualization, I asked you, like, how did it happen? And for some people, there will be nothing. And for some people, there was a cosmic download. And it doesn't really matter, like, what you were able to tap into. The point of why I asked that was because when you're doing a guided visualization, you drop into a different state. We alter your state. And in that state, sometimes there's more downloads available. There's more access to divine intelligence. And so I love to take people into these states and just encourage them to ask a question when they're in that state. Some of the greatest innovators in the world, the Einsteins, the Edisons, they would actually utilize these deeper states where you're in a very relaxed place and you present a question. And oftentimes the greatest innovations that we know of today came to these great thinkers when they put themselves into a more relaxed state. And so yesterday, I wanted to have you practice using intuition and listening through divine intelligence and just ask a question at the end. I'm curious, how many of you got an answer when you asked the question yesterday? You can say, I did. You can say, nothing came through. Either one is acceptable. It's just for practice. But today, I want to go deeper into this because I just left it hanging. I didn't want to pressure anyone to be like, what came through in the moment, you know? But I'm curious. I'm curious how that presented. So go ahead on your journal. This time for this journal prompt, we're going to T-bone our paper. So we're going to have like a line down the middle and a line at the top. Now I want to take you into another guided visualization. So wherever you are, if you're not operating heavy machinery or driving a car, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and allow yourself to just soften. Like close your eyes and just soften down. And allow yourself to go into a deeper state of consciousness and relaxation with me for just about 5 minutes, maybe 10. As you close your eyes, I'll ask you to imagine your feet bare. No sandals, no socks, no shoes. Bare feet planted in the ground. As you're here, notice the roar of ocean waves in the distance, far away, but enough to be comforting white noise. See your foot step onto a pathway. It's well worn, rich, red, clay-covered dirt. Step onto the path and begin to walk. Feel the warmth on the soles of your feet. Feel the perfect temperature outside. The sun touching your shoulders, kissing your forehead. Notice that about 10 feet to your right, there's a cliff dropping down. You're a safe distance. And as you look out, you can see that you are standing at the Pacific Ocean, seeing one of the most expansive, marvelous, epic horizons ever. You're on a 100-foot cliff, totally grounded, staring out at the sea, feeling endless possibilities and so much hope. You're safe. You're happy. And all there is to do today is walk this path and enjoy the view. Watch the waves roll in, roll out. Charge your body with the feeling of the sun. Feel the winds gently passing by you in the best weather ever. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel step after step after step. Total freedom. And as you look down the pathway, notice there's a figure walking toward you. Their silhouette looks so much like you. So very much like you. They look like they could be your sibling, but they're not. And as you get closer, notice that it's you. Notice that there was a version of you yesterday that tapped into maybe a skill you wanted to develop, something you wanted to explore, an opportunity you wanted to vet. And as you get closer to this person, realize that this is you 5 years out. This is you 5 years in the future. And this is the version of you that trusted yourself and did it. You're now 10 feet away, 5 feet away, with every step you get closer. And now you're face to face, arm's length away from the you of 5 years out. The you that was brave, the you that said yes, the you that vetted an investment, the you that took a bet and a risk on the future. The you that committed, the you that showed up, the you that expanded. And you're now face to face with the one that just did another $1 million deal. This version of you is just 5 short years away. There were skill gaps to close. There were uncomfortable moments. It took, in some moments, risking a lot. But now, the version of you that did it all and has it all is standing face to face with you. Take note of the color of their hair, their skin tone, their wardrobe, the texture, the tapestry, the frequency, their mood, the lightness, the satisfaction, the pride, and the happiness. And their eyes are beaming at you, bright with so many things that they could tell you about. But they just get to say one thing. One thing to steer your path towards this outcome. Take a moment, trust yourself that you can hear this. Lean in and ask, what do you want to tell me? Let them talk. Put your hand on their shoulder. Let them put their hand on your shoulder. And in this moment, they're transferring wisdom, energy, lightness, hope, transparency, confidence, ability, wisdom. Receive the transfer. Look this version of you deep in the eyes and say, thank you so much for meeting me here. I trust that I have what you wanted to give me. If it feels right, you can give them a hug. And then picture your foot back on the path. Feel the heat underneath the sole of your feet. The warmth and the richness of the clay on the ground. Hear the cresting waves washing in, washing out, crashing in, rolling out. Feel the wind on your skin, the sun on your face. Feel the wisdom in your heart and walk down the path. One step, 2 steps, bare feet, no one in sight except one more person about 30 yards away. You're feeling deja vu. You're feeling like, didn't this just happen? Again, it's a silhouette of you. It looks like your sibling. It kind of looks like your parent. That's weird. But it's you. The hair's different. The posture is not as tall. Something has changed. As you walk closer to this person, you're closing the distance. You know that you're about to experience gravity, a depth, and a very different kind of wisdom. Step closer, close the distance, feel love and compassion in your heart for a completely different version of you. This is the version of you that came to this workshop. They heard foundations laid and mindsets shifted and stories of bravery and possibility. There was a dream planted in this version of you. There were messages heard. Your intuition dropped in. But this version of you, although they felt invited, compelled, they felt their edge. They knew that there was a chance to change it all. They knew that there was a possibility of becoming the first generation millionaire. For whatever reason, the days passed, the months passed, the years passed. They did not close the information gaps. They did not elevate their skill. They did not elevate their service. They did not elevate their impact. Financially and emotionally, nothing changed. You're closing the distance on the you 5 years out. If you changed nothing. Notice the texture of the skin, the tapestry of the clothing, the frequency of the personality. Feel the gravity of what could have been. Feel the constraint of sameness. Feel the knowingness of walls feeling like they're closing in, and time that has slipped away. Look deeply into this version, into their eyes, into the you of sameness. What's in those eyes? What is the expression on that face? Reach out and touch their shoulder. Let them touch your shoulder and feel the weight and the gravity of that choice. And although they can't tell you everything, they have just a moment to say something to you. The version of you that didn't take a shot, that didn't go after it. One sentence, what do they have to tell you? Catch the emotion in their eyes. Hear it, sense it, taste it. Send straight gratitude out of your heart for this version of you. Say thank you, thank you, thank you, teacher. If it feels right, you can hug them. If it doesn't, don't. But send them so much love and gratitude. Put your hand on your heart and feel these two messages. Feel the duality, the polarity, what could be, what wasn't. Tuck these messages deep into your heart and put your foot back on the path. One step, 2 steps. Look out into the distance. As you look back, those shadows are gone. What could have been, what will be, what happened or didn't happen, they're just alternate realities and possibilities, and the choice is all yours. Place your hand on your heart and look out on the horizon where the ocean meets the sky. Endless possibilities. A sky painted peach and pink as the day is closing down. And know that every possibility is yours. And it's all within your self-governance. Open your eyes. As you're coming back into reality, take that piece of paper that you T-boned, and on the left-hand side, write, future self who said yes. On the left-hand side, write, future self who did not. Something in your spirit, something in your intuition, something in your destiny is calling you forward. Only you know what that thing is. Everything is within your self-governance. You get to decide whether you take a shot, take the risk, take a chance, invest or don't. Invest the time, invest the money, invest the hope, invest the belief. And tonight you met a version of you who said yes. On the yes side of your paper, write down what that person said to you. On the other side of the paper, the version of you 5 years out who made no changes. They had a message too. Write it down. Now, this is something that I develop in entrepreneurs because it's your intuition, it's your self-trust. And there's going to be a part of some of you, depending on how you grew up or what you believe, that's going to say, I don't know, I was probably just making that up. I just made that up. I don't know what really just happened there. Trust it. If you got a message, you have to write it down. It's far too easy to walk away from an activation like this and forget it in 4 days. But you just touched versions of you that you don't access in everyday life. And if they had a message, you've got to treasure that. The more you listen, the more this happens. So trust it and write it down. I'll give you about 90 seconds here. Just make sure you write it. I love you guys. I see Pam Shumway saying powerful. Casey Ora says thank you. Yeah. I love a guided meditation. I love accessing these states. So if you loved it, feel free to say so. You can drop me the lightning bolts. It's my favorite emoji out here. About 20 more seconds. Tammy said, I love all of your guided meditations. Each one brings so much clarity. Jennifer Lynn Wilburn said, just over here bawling already. So deep, so good. Yes. Myra's back. Welcome back, babe. She's getting better service. That's awesome. All right, loves. So the first section of our workshop is complete. The mantra, placement of the mantra, that was all in part one of this. It's a separate video. I apologize for the sound. We've now gone through a guided visualization to really activate and connect with different versions of yourself and tap into self-governance. If you're live right now, or if you're catching the replay, can you write down the words, just the hashtag self-governance? Self-governance. This is something that Spirit's been dropping to me since Sunday, these words, self-governance. Because as I pray for open doors and more territory, what's come through is self-governance. It's going to take more from me, actually. And that's eye-opening. And I want to bring that full circle here, self-governance, because you just met versions of you that said yes and versions that said no. And everything is within your self-governance. Everything is within your yes or your no. Wild, right? So we're going to move into the section that I like to call story time. Go ahead and hashtag the word story time. I'm a big fan of sharing stories. I learn from stories. Our people, all of us, our people, we're primal, and we learn by hearing stories, and information lands with stories. So I'm going to share a story. I love to go with the story time component of a workshop. So let's drop it in. We've been deconstructing beliefs about money, investing, and debt. And I want to share a secondary story about a time that I leveraged what I call OPM, or other people's money. I like that. OPM. I leveraged other people's money, and it turned out really well for me. Yesterday, I talked about my first foray with, using $30,000 of OPM, other people's money, to take a skill development course. And after taking that course, I had such a vision for it that I doubled and then tripled my income, right? So that was in my early 20s. I want to tell you about a second time in my life that I did this. And a time that felt high risk to do it. I wanted to fund a business development course for myself, but I want to lay down the foundation for it real quick. Because when I made this decision, it was a time that I personally feel was really relatable. Me personally, because I've become a first-generation millionaire, I sometimes feel like my story isn't relatable to people anymore, and that they might be just feeling like, oh, must be nice for you. But it wasn't that long ago that it didn't feel like this. And so I want to bring you full circle back around to a moment when the odds were stacked right against me, and it was just 3 years ago. 3. If you're live, right, 3 years ago. So it was not that long ago. Just 3 short years. Here's how the odds were stacked against me. It was 2020. I had a 3-month-old baby. I knew enough about entrepreneurship that I was investing pretty heavily in myself. 3 years ago, I had made a $30,000 investment into a product-based venture. Product-based venture. $30,000 in. I've got a 3-month-old. I'm $30,000 into a product-based venture. The pandemic happens, kicks in March, right? My husband's position got canceled. So now we're down to one income with a 3-month-old. We're $30,000 in on a product venture. The pandemic hits and our office team and our nanny quit on the same day because of the fear around this timeline in America. They wanted to go be with their families. Understandable. Understandable. I get it. I don't blame them. So in the same month that all that happened, we got word that our product venture that we had $30,000 into would be permanently halted. So that $30K was a wash. Three-month-old, single income, team quits, $30,000 loss. We had maybe $10,000 in assets to play with, and we had to live. And Brad wasn't going to go back to work. Can you feel that? Every 60 to 90 minutes, I'm nursing a baby. Can you feel that? This was 3 years ago. I knew we had to hard pivot. Not just like pivot, not like cute pivot, like hard. Turn the whole bus, the whole ship. And I also knew that I had a skill gap. Somebody write skill gap. We talked about this yesterday. I had a gap in skill. I knew it because I knew that I could make $100,000 on a launch in a product venture. I knew how to do it with products. And I also knew other people who were creating info products. They were taking what they knew in everyday life and turning them into information products. I knew people in all different industries that were creating courses, online classes, workshops, coaching companies. They were taking what they knew in everyday life and turning it into intellectual property and making huge money off of it. And what I knew was there was a skill gap. I knew I wanted to do that. I knew I had to do something that I could do from my house. I knew I had to be able to do something that I could do from a phone or a computer. And I also knew that I had a skill gap because I could do some things with products, but I didn't know the rest of it. So there was a skill gap to close. I knew that I was missing information. How many of you guys are smart enough to know that sometimes you just don't know what you don't know and it's hurting your bank account? Because there's people out there who are closing big deals and you're watching them and you're like, I think I could do that, except I don't exactly know how they did that. So there's a skill gap to close. That was me sitting on the couch in my living room with a baby on me in 2020. That's a short time ago. Short time ago. That's less than 5 years ago, you guys. It was skill and it was systems. See, I was not a good planner. I didn't understand back-end stuff. I still to this day can barely type on a MacBook. I'm real fast on the phone. I wasn't great at computers. I wasn't great at tech. I didn't have really good systems down. Listen, it was skill and it was systems that I needed to nail. And I also knew that I didn't have time for a time delay. If this is landing right, I don't have time for a time delay. I didn't need money in 2 years. I needed to get money this year. I didn't have time to wait. I didn't have time to go back to college for a law degree. I didn't have time for a time delay to go back to school and become, a doctor. Because the kind of money that I wanted to make was lawyer, doctor, brain surgeon. If you Google what does a brain surgeon make? Like, I make more than that now. And that's the kind of money that I wanted to make. And I was like, I don't have time to go back to school for that. Neither can I do that with a baby on me. So what can I do to close the gap? And I was just smart enough to know that watching YouTube videos by random characters was not going to cut it. Googling things late into the night was not going to cut it for me from unknown sources, because I wanted to do, what did we talk about yesterday? I wanted to vet my investment. I didn't want to listen to random amateurs on YouTube or random Google articles and hope that they knew what they were talking about. In fact, I have a high level of questioning even around college, because I went to college for a semester and took business classes from people that had never run a business. They don't understand entrepreneurship, but they were teaching me things that they didn't know how to do. So I'm always suspect when people want to teach me something that they can't do or that they've never helped someone else do. So I vet my what? Fill in the blank. Vet my investments. And an opportunity fell into my lap through a Facebook post. Of all things, of course, I saw a post on Facebook for an opportunity to close the skill gap. There was somebody out there who was already making the kind of money that I wanted to make. They had a $10,000 program, $10,000 program. And it was enough time, I thought, to watch some courses, get some coaching, and close that skill gap. If you're live right now and you can understand what I'm saying, right? I feel you, because I didn't have $10,000 just lying around that felt plentiful or like abundant to hand somebody. Like I wasn't feeling that vibe. So I found my good friend, my credit card, and I put the course on a credit card. $10K. High risk. No guarantees. Nobody was coming to save me. I had to help myself. The government was not going to come and help me. They gave out some good checks that year, but like, listen, I couldn't count on that. So I found an opportunity that was $10,000 where I could vet my investment. If you're live right now, write vet my investments, vet my investments, vet my investments. Now, whether you join Locked and Loaded or you take a real estate class or you take a class on coding, for tech or whatever kind of course or class that you want to take, if you're going to invest in real estate, there's so many different ways to invest. There's so many different ways to invest. We're very diversified personally. But there's something that I want to encourage all of you, and it's called vet my investments. I had this opportunity to join this $10,000 course and mastermind where there was touch points, and I could join live trainings, and I could get coached live from people who had done what I wanted to do, right? And there was a community just like this, just like XMH Empire. It was a free community that was attached to these courses. And I knew I was interested, and they encouraged me to do something that I'm going to encourage you to do, actually. So I thought I wanted to take this course, and the person who was running the course said, hey, just if you have any question, I want you to go into our free community, and I want you to ask how other people have experienced their time in here. And I was like, really? Like, I don't know about any of you guys, but in the coaching industry, private mentorship, courses, etc., there's a lot of what I call gatekeeping of information. So it's like there's like a voice of a trainer, a speaker, an author, someone who's a coach or an entrepreneur, and they want your money and they shame you for asking questions. This is so common in the coaching industry. It's a 20-some billion dollar industry, and there's a lot of shaming when people ask questions. And I had the total opposite experience. I had someone who had a course that could close my skill gap and help me get money into my hands that year. And instead of shaming me for asking questions, they actually entertained some time with me. They got on 2 different phone interactions with me, like on Zoom. And then they said, listen, just go in our community and ask people questions. If you actually want to work with us, go in our community and say, like, I'm thinking about joining like the $10,000 thing. What do you guys think who have done it? So I have a process for vetting my investment. And here's my system. If you're live, actually, if XMH team is live and you can put these down in like bullet points or numbers, I'm going to give you my system. So when I'm about to invest in something, my first question is a personal one. It's not about someone proving something to me. It's about me proving something to myself. It's not even a proving energy. It's just intentionality. So point number 1, if you're live, write this down, is what's my intent here? What's my intent? So point number 1, I had to ask myself, all right, I have a possibility of changing my entire life in the next 5 years. I have the possibility, if I work with these people who are already making $1 million plus, and I can learn their systems and I can close my skill gap with these people, I think I can trust them to show me what's missing that I don't quite know or understand yet, through coaching, through courses, through live classes, through feedback, through guidance. I have a possibility to become a first-generation millionaire, and I could feel it in my body. At a moment of extreme high risk, a lot of pressure, a 3-month-old baby, a single person in the household making money, and down $30,000 in a lost investment. But I felt something in my body about the me in 5 years out. Like, I hope you felt something in your body about the you 5 years out tonight. So my first question to myself was, what's my intent? And my intent was to go into this space and get my skills elevated. I had specific things that I wanted to learn. I knew that my copywriting could elevate. I knew that my sales presentations could elevate. I knew that I didn't understand back-end systems. I knew that I didn't understand all the processes. I didn't understand client journey. I didn't understand how to take my work and turn it into all the intellectual property that you guys see today. There was a lot of skills and systems that I needed to close the gap on. And my intent was to go in there and learn and 10x my investment. If you're live, write 10x. 10x. Our clients joke that my name is Xtina 10x Harmsworth. Because it was at that time in my life that I decided that any investment that I was going to put myself on the line for, and I was going to take other people's money. I wasn't any longer just looking to double my money anymore. I had done a double, I had done a triple, and there was something that just felt inside of me that this was an opportunity that I could actually 10x. I made it my bottom line standard that if I was going to spend $10,000 on this, that I wanted to reap the harvest of making $100,000 with the information that I learned there. And that was my intent. When you as the mentee, the student, the person attending the course, when you, the mastermind member, come in with that level of intentionality, you treat everything so differently. This is not a gamble. This is not a hope. This is not I hope I pay this money back sometime. It's a risk that I'm taking. We'll see if it pans out. Like, I was like, no matter what happens, no matter whether I like the coach, no matter whether I enjoy the program, no matter whether I'm nursing every 60 to 90 minutes, no matter whether, I'm going in here and I'm going to 10x this investment with the information that I learn inside, period. So number 1 in my system and process of vetting an investment is, number 1, what's my intent? Because your intent can mean more than even what you learn inside of the space. I'm going to expound on that in a minute because what happened is wild. Point number 2, teacher credentials. Number one is intent. My intent. What's my intent? Number two, what's the teacher credentials? We are in the wild, wild west right now in the coaching and self-development space. People make lying income claims left, right, and center. People lie all the time in their marketing. It is the wild west. People inflate their numbers. They're not transparent. They say that they can do things that they can't. There's people that have never made $1 million who are labeling their course $1 million something. It's hyped up marketing. So my question number two is teacher credentials. The person who's going to teach me and lead me, what have they done? So whenever you're going to invest in something, I don't care if it's a real estate course, whether it's you're going to do a real estate deal, whether it's someone that is going to guide you on a certain type of investment, any type of class that you're going to take, you want to actually find out the teacher credentials. What have they actually done? And be bold enough to ask. How's your business doing and how are your numbers? How many clients are you holding currently? What is the success rate of your students? Okay, so teacher credentials. What have they personally done? Are they trying to teach you something that they have never done before? Are you guys ready for point number 3 in vetting your investment? Give me lightning bolts if you're ready for this, because this is clutch, dude. This is how I vet all my investments. And having invested about $500,000, I would say just over, in my own investing. Like, this is how I vet an investment. The person who I'm going to be doing the investing with, like, what's their credential? What have they done? What's their track record? Point 3. Client success stories. Client success stories. If you're going to go and do a real estate deal with somebody and go in on a bunch of houses with them and they're like, yes, give me all your money and now we're going to go flip houses. Skirt, hold the phone, buddy. Hang on. Show me the portfolio of all of your successes and show me some failures. What made this work and what made this one not work? Point number 3 is client successes, and talk to me about at least 2 failures and why they failed. Let me learn from those mistakes. Don't act like it's all roses and sunshine, but also tell me about the success stories. Who have you helped and how? Tell me what the possibilities are so that I have something to shoot for and shoot past. Because one of my things is I always want to be someone's best client. That's a personal standard. So part 3 is ask for success stories and a couple of failures. Why did they fail? And what made the successes succeed? Ready for number 4? Number 4. Point 4 for vetting an investment is asking and knowing, walking in knowing, what will I be able to do, be, or have at the end of this investment? So for example, when people join Locked and Loaded, the mastermind, or the vault, what can they do, be, or have by the end of that year together? Well, what can they do at the end? They can price profitably for their businesses, all different kinds of businesses. They can turn their intellectual property into courses, classes, and consultancies. They can effectively copyright and convert to sell. They can do live in-person and virtual sales and business presentations, informational presentations, right? They can create offers that are in alignment with their soul. They can stack and scale offers that are working, and they can hold and receive the emotions that come with being a major success. Oh, not to mention, they fully understand how to work, operate, and sell on social media and maximize profits on a very small following. That's what people can do after a year in Locked and Loaded. That's what they can do. What can they be? They can be successful in business, sometimes for the first time, sometimes for the 5th time. There's a lot of people that come to Locked and Loaded that are already very successful, but they just haven't maxed it out yet on social media. What can they have? They can have their free time back. They can work from anywhere. That's what they can do, be, and have by the end of Locked and Loaded. So you've got to walk into that investment knowing, what is the point of this? What do I qualify for at the end? Oh, not to mention, so many of our clients double, triple, and quadruple their income. That's what they can do, be, and have. So they've got something to shoot for. So when I vetted that investment to join a $10,000 mastermind, I put that crap on a credit card. Yes, I did. I used OPM, other people's money. I have no shame about it. It made me feel so abundant to not have to scrape and cry and beg and complain and get a co-signer. Praise God, I just put that sucker on a credit card and sat down and got to work. I showed up for myself. I had a huge intention, and I'm going to tell you what happened. I tried it for what's called a trial period. The $10,000 was a trial period. It was a portal, if you will. See, this company had a whole $40,000 mastermind. And if they would have told me $40,000 at the beginning of it, I would have said, no. Because first of all, I didn't have a $40,000 bank balance or a credit card limit at that point in time. And I think $40,000 would have just had me run scared. So they let me do the first several weeks of this for $10,000 just to try it out. Inside that 10K time frame, that 10K investment, I figured out that this was the place that was worth me staying for. There was an option for me to continue on, and I raised my hand and said, absolutely yes. Because just in that short period of time, I could see the stuff that was in their vault. I could experience the people. I experienced getting coached. I hard pivoted my whole company. And I was like, all right, I am getting traction. I'm not about to walk away from this. Like, keep me in the game. So I extended. I did payment plans, $5,000 a month for the rest of the time that I was in that space. I joined it in February. By the end of the summer, write this down, by the end of the summer, I had $90,000 in revenue in a completely different industry. I had $90,000 in revenue in a completely different industry. I was no longer in the product space. I was in information products. I understood systems. I understood sales. I understood the back end. I closed that skill gap in under half a year. $90,000. Right in the chat, $90,000 in 6 months. By December of 2020, I had my first $120,000 month because of the skill sets there. The next year, I had a $400,000 plus year. Because why? Because I 10x my investments. And I spent 40 grand to be in that space. And I made a promise to myself. And I made intentionality with myself that if I'm going to spend $40,000 to be in this space, I'm getting $400,000 out of this information. And I'm holding myself to the line to get it. Nobody has to tell me to do it. My husband isn't holding me accountable. My team is not holding me accountable. No one has to tell me to do this but me. Because I put myself through the risk and I put myself through the experience of that yes. And I deserve to reap that 10x reward. So I had $90,000 in the first 6 months. I had a $120,000 month by Christmas time. And over $400,000 the next year. Because of my commitment and my intentionality to go in there and get this information, close that info gap in 10x. This is a first generation millionaire mentality. Can you feel the gravity of that? Is there anyone here that's watching right now that's like, damn, I felt that. I want to adopt that. I want to become that kind of person. So this is the wild part. It's kind of funny. It wasn't necessarily the information that was in their vault. Because check this out. I paid that first $10,000 and I got into their vault. their video vault. Their information vault. I was like, I'm going to learn. Yes, I'm going to find the secrets. And guess what happened? This is the funny part. I started ripping through their vault and I realized they were teaching everything I was already teaching the previous year in my mastermind. They just had a 10% difference in skill. They had a 10% of information that I didn't know, and it was about systems. And a 10% tweak on self-development that I had never encountered at that level. It was just small shifts. It wasn't necessarily the information inside. It was the peer group. If any of you guys are in Locked and Loaded and you know what I mean about this, or you've been in one of my masterminds, or you've been in one of my spaces, it was the peer group. It was other people running in the same direction with this fierce dedication and this bravery and this belief for the them that's 5 years out from today. It was the peer group. It was not feeling isolated because I was learning all this stuff in business and then trying to talk to my husband about it, and he wasn't taking the same classes, and he would look at me like I had 3 heads. And I couldn't really talk to my friends about it because they weren't learning it either. And my parents, they didn't understand. Nobody understood what I was going through except my peers. My peer group got it. And that was a place that I could go in and jam on stuff and mastermind and talk about this content that I had written and what had converted and what had worked and what system we were putting in place, and go in there and cry and say like, I did it. It was so hard shit. It was the peer group. It was the regular coaching that was happening inside. It was being able to show up to a live training call with someone who's actively doing the work in the industry. They're not teaching stuff from 5 years ago, but it's people who are in the trenches like myself who are doing the work, who were teaching me that were just maybe 5 or 10 steps ahead of me. It was the ability to have Q&As and have somebody live coaching me through my questions. That was the treasure of the space that made it worth paying that amount of money. It made me able to maximize the information. It was being with my peers and being with other leaders in a mastermind environment. That was the magic. So I tell you this story because I want to instill in you a vision to get an ROI in whatever you invest in. This is a mentality that I carry. It's been developed across the last 3 years. Every time that I spend money in my business, I look at it as an investment and I'm looking for a 10x. And if I fail or it looks like I'm failing, I give myself a year to get the money back. But no matter what, I 10x the investment. There is no lose. There is no that one didn't work. It's a win or a learn. And I take what I learn and I 10x it. And I want to instill in you the mindset of a first generation millionaire, a cash millionaire, a cash multimillionaire, whatever it is that your personal mantra is. I want to instill this vision in you to get a return on investment for whatever money that you put into your self-development, your brand, your self-development, your learning. When you close a skill gap, go in there with a bigger vision to get an ROI. This didn't happen by accident. This whole story that started in 2020, I'm across the room right now from my vision board, and I made this vision board in 2020. And in this time frame working, inside of this particular space where I closed the gap on skill and I learned all these things, it was imperative, they told me, that every day when you're in a calm state, you have to shift your beliefs. And I started writing these things on my mirror, like the mantra that I asked you guys to put around your house, which is your activation leaving from here tonight. I put my beliefs, my fresh beliefs all over my house. I put them on my vision board and I started just deciding that I was going to trust and believe and put different beliefs inside about what was possible for me. I tapped into a version of me that was 5 years out that had done it all, that had everything, all my wildest dreams. And I decided that we were going to make a run for her. And I let myself touch the pain of not having done it. I let myself touch the version of me 5 years out with regrets. And I made a decision to do whatever it took, leverage other people's money, leverage debt, good debt, to make learning and closing a skill gap possible for me. To 10x my investment, which I did. The following year after that, I'm going to tell you about tomorrow, because I 10x'd a $120,000 investment, so $1.2 million. I'm going to tell you about that one tomorrow. But tonight, I want to leave you with this. We have offer 2 of this space. We talked about offer 1 last night, which was the day pass. I'll recap that quickly. Offer number 1 is called the day pass, and it's an opportunity for you to vet the locked and loaded investment. It's a 24-hour pass that you can start anytime between now and Saturday. You can open it tonight. You can open it tomorrow. You can open it Saturday morning. You've got 24 hours to go into our intellectual property vault and see what's in there, number 1. Number 2, inside this 24-hour frame of time, you also have access to get coached by me inside of my favorite app where I interact with my clients. You can ask me anything that you want in this time frame. Our mastermind starts Saturday morning, 10 a.m., ends 5 p.m. It's only $444 for the day pass. Limit 10 spots. If you're live right now, please write offer 1, day pass 444. So many people have gone through the day pass. We probably have had 60 people this year that have had this experience. They say it's life-changing, transformational, irreplaceable, no regrets. And so if it's on your mind or heart to either join the vault or my mastermind this upcoming year, come see what it's all about. Come vet the investment. Come make sure if it's right for you. That's offer number 1. Offer number 2 is fucking wild. I've been dreaming about this the last couple days, and it is a unicorn opportunity. And it came in for me because I remembered making this investment in 2020 when a 40 grand investment would have scared the shit out of me. If someone would have told me in 2020, it's 40 grand to join this mastermind, it would have been an automatic no for me. And I sense that there are people who are watching and who have been watching for quite a bit who are like, I do want to try locked and loaded. I do want to try the vault, but 40 grand scares the shit out of me, girl. I can't do it. And I understand. But I also know that it took me trying a shorter period of time with the mastermind that changed my life. Vetting the investment, meeting the people, getting coached, getting my questions answered, not over the course of a year, but just a very short period of time. And with that in mind, my team and I created an offer today that's called the portal. So offer number 2 is the portal. It's not $44,000. It's not $22,000. It's not even $10,000. It's our entire vault of content that's worth over 30 grand. It's access to every live training that I do while you are inside the portal membership. It's 4 hot seat laser coaching calls with either just you and me or a tiny group of your peers. And again, it's not even $10,000. It's not $7,000. It's not $5,000. It's 4 $4,000. It's $4K for 4 weeks of access to the Locked and Loaded Vault, any live classes that I host for the next 4 weeks, and 4 calls with me. Hot seat coaching for $4K. The portal. Offer number 2 is the portal. It's an open door for you to come in and experience our space for just $4,444. And my team might have not even put the extra $444 in there. It might just be $4K. I don't know. You'll have to go look at the link. Go ahead and link it. There you go. It's $4,444. Perfect. The dopest thing about the portal is this. It's 4 weeks long, and at the end of the 4 weeks, if you decide that you love it, you get to apply that $4,444 to either staying with us inside the vault, which I'll talk about tomorrow, or you can apply it to the Locked and Loaded year-long mastermind. It's your choice. So you get to apply that $444 to another space if you decide that it's a yes, 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 yes for you after those 4 weeks. And if you decide that 4 weeks, you got your money's worth and you're ready to go fly on your own, you're free to go. It's a portal. It's a pathway. It's an open door. It's an opportunity for you to decide if we're the right people for you. Now you might be going, well, why is it $4,444? Why is it so much? I'm going to tell you why. The information inside of that vault for Locked and Loaded is the very information that I used last year to make $1 million. And it's the very information that I've done more than that. We've beat last year's numbers so far this year with the information in that vault. It's 7-figure training. It's 6-figure habits. It's the secret sauce. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so we have to put a premium on that vault. The doors are open. The cart is going to be open for the next 48 hours, and then it shuts. The portal, we're going to max it out at 10 people. So if you've been thinking about Locked and Loaded and you've been like, I can't with the 20K investment right out front. I can't with the 44,000 right out front. I'm nervous, but I want to experience your community. Come in. Offer number 2 is the portal. $4,444. The card is open. It'll stay open for 48 hours or when we hit 10 people. That's offer number 2 on day 2. Will you do me a favor tonight and tell me, out of this whole day 2 of the workshop, what was your favorite part of it? Drop me your 1-degree shift. Drop me your aha moment. And if the portal is right for you, go ahead and follow the link that Jessie just posted, or you can DM my team. This is a pay in full only opportunity. There are no payment plans for this one. Okay, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow night for the final day of our workshop. I can't wait. It's going to be hot as fire, just like the last 2 days. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern.